for OTAs and then today, and what his ability is going to mean to what you want to do on defense?
I think that's, I'll talk about Shaq, but it's also an opportunity for me to compliment the free agents. I remember I came out and said you don't get to talk to the guys until they're actually signed, and that was a little bit of a learning experience for me. So Shaq's been great. He's got a leadership personality. He every day worked his tail off, and very talented, obviously, but I couldn't be more happy. But then you start talking about whatever number of free agents we brought in here, they're all going to contribute. They've all been really good for the locker room, really good for the team, and I know that, that was something I was warned about, and it's been really good.
Thank you.
Yep.
John Reed, and then we'll go to Demetrius.
How you doing, Coach?
Good.
Can you give us a little update of just Trevor? I mean, he didn't, participate in a lot of the work, but just and we saw him on the side doing some little rehab. Can you give us an update of where he stands health-wise?
Yeah, if we had to go, we could have went. There being our trainers and Shadi are being a little cautious because right now, when you're a month out, hamstrings, you yank a hamstring now, you're going to miss early part of training camp. So we're just being cautious. That's that one muscle that, you guys have all seen it like I have. You pull a hamstring at this point, you're going to miss all your summer conditioning. So we were being somewhat conservative on it. But he actually could play a game if he had to.
Okay, we'll go to Demetrius, then we'll go to me, O'Brien.
Hey, Coach, could you just talk about sort of Trevor's progress in terms of understanding an NFL playbook and then just working within your offense?
Yeah, him and Schottenheimer have been working on this well before the draft. His retention and carryover has been very good. Execution at times, like you would imagine, has been up and down, especially when they start changing the looks up on defense, which obviously is going to happen a ton. Yeah, we're very pleased with where he is. The summer's got to be great, and the training camp's got to be great.
How have you sort of seen him respond to adversity thus far?
Well, we haven't had a whole lot of it, that we'll know more in training camp when they, the OTA or phase 3 and the minicamp, you're just not in competitive situations. You're not allowed to be in. There's no winner loser situations, and that's how you really find out about not just Trevor, but a majority of guys. And I'm looking forward to doing that, to find that out.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go to Mia, and then we'll go to D-Rock.
Hi, Urban. I know it was a question coming into voluntary workouts, the tight end room. What is your assessment through the 3 phases and now day 1 of mandatory minicamp of what you have at that position?
Yeah, I think I mentioned earlier that O'Shaughnessy and Ellison have been, they're 2 of the most improved really on the team. When you watch last year's film compared to this year, what I saw early in training camp, our phase 2 was very, very much improved. We're still not where we need to be at that room right now, but we're getting closer.
Awesome. And then one other question. I was just curious, Leon Jacobs working out primarily with the defensive line, and obviously he played linebacker, if only in name, his first few years in the league. What led to that switch?
It's a 3-4. He's an outside linebacker, so he's still a linebacker, but it's a little bit different position, but it's Lorente and Kay Levon, it's that position. So it's really a Sam linebacker that also rushes. So it's a 3-4 versus 4-3.
Oh, and sorry, if I could do one more since you brought him up. Caleb on Chason absent from practice today. If you could just explain maybe where he was?
Yeah, he got this morning tested positive for COVID, so they're going to retest him again, and that's why he wasn't here.
Awesome. Thanks, Urban.
Okay, we'll go D-Rock, and then we'll go James Palmer.
Urban, what's the process of walking the line between getting Trevor ready and winning games and making sure that he kind of develops on that first year and winning games?
Well, that was a big reason why I hired 2 coaches with a lot of experience in that regard, and that's Brian Schottenheimer and Bevel. In college, you have that tightrope. I think it's a great question because that's reality. The reality is that, and everybody in this organization knows, whoever's going to be on that field is going to give us the best chance to win. We're not looking 4 or 5 down the road, but the reality is that you got the number 1 pick overall. So Bevel and Schottenheimer, I'm leaning on them, but ultimately I got to make a decision for the guys got to help us win. But that's a great question. That's a daily conversation as well.
So has it changed over the years in terms of, I mean, I know you looked at, freshmen used to be looked at as like, anything you can get out of them is gravy, but now they're kind of counted to be major contributors. So same thing with rookies. Is it changed, in the way that you've dealt with football over the years?
I can speak. Once again, I'm not going to speak if I don't know. I hired two guys with wealth of experience for that reason. In college, it did change dramatically. There was no, I remember, you might remember back, Pete Carroll started it, the red shirts were gone. We don't red shirt. If you're not good enough, you won't play, but everybody's ready. And I think the NFL, from what I'm experiencing so far, the best player is going to play. And so that's the mentality.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go James, and then we'll go Hayes.
Urban, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. And kind of in that same vein, defensively going against Trevor, how do you find that balance between mixing it up and giving him making it really, really hard on him while he's learning so much in the league? How much do you want to make things difficult with different looks to get him up to speed, but he's also learning so much offensively at the same time?
Yeah, I think the phase 2 was more just installing, and then as many times you can see today, even though he didn't get some of those team reps, they're going to go watch it on film. But reality is the complications of the game are what slows development of quarterbacks. And so the idea of being early on, get them installation, now it's all against a variety of looks that you'll see.
And also, just real quick, what do you want him to do between now and camp, the end of mandatory minicamp and the start of training camp? What did you guys lay out a specific plan? Will you do that for him?
Yeah, Pete, who works with him, the trainer, and then Schottenheimer and Bevel and myself, I'll meet with him as well. But, I'm going to make a big push that you look at the Jaguars as a team. They lost some games, and once again, I refuse to believe just bad players. That's too easy to say that, or bad coaches. I don't believe that either. I believe that we weren't the biggest, strongest, fastest version of ourselves either. So I expect this team, we're used to a certain way of doing our business, and I just talked to our team about that. I expect us to have a great offseason and show up ready to compete.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go Hayes, and then we'll go Mark Long.
Hey, Urban, how is ETN developing for you?
Good. I saw flashes of what I remember seeing in college here the last week and a half. The Jaguars, when you look at statistically, big plays were very hard to find last year, and this guy's a big play written all over it. He's a space player, so ideally we're going to be one of those multiple offenses that has spread elements as well as the YY or the two tights. I think that's it's hard to defend if he can do both. And he's a space player, and you could see that the last few practices.
Great, thank you.
All right, we'll go Mark Long and then John Shipley.
Hi, Urban. Are you out of your comfort zone by not having daily winners and losers or a lot of competition? And then secondly, was the kicking competition, was that as close to what we'll see in the fall as maybe you've been able to do during OTAs today?
Yeah, I am used to, the winner-loser identifies the guys that, number one quality we're looking for is competitive spirit, and it's hard right now. But, these guys, once again, are NFL athletes. If you weren't not an elite competitor, you're not going to be at this level. So, that's something I'm looking forward to in the fall. But, yeah, I think college is, it's so much different because you're getting a 17-year-old you don't know. And some belong at college football, some don't. To say a guy's made it through college, high school and college, he's an NFL player. So I'm learning. I expected it to be a little different, but if you're not a competitor, you certainly wouldn't be here. So it's a little bit different, but I look forward to doing that. We're going to do a bunch of it in training camp. And the kicker situation, that's exactly what that was. That we have two guys that are very talented kickers, very talented. And we're going to do that quite often before we have to make a decision.
All right, we'll go John Shipley and then Gene Fournette.
Hey, Urban, I know you guys have a few tryout players in this week. Can you tell us anything about bringing in Laquan Treadwell for the tryout and maybe what you kind of see in him on the practice field?
Yeah, I first saw his name, and I remembered him very well from high school, obviously, and he had a nice career at Ole Miss, first-round draft pick, and I spent some time with him today. But I think we brought an offensive lineman, two defensive players, and Treadwell. So I thought he looked pretty good, big body that can run and great hands. So I was surprised at his name when I saw his name and Trent brought him to me. I just remembered him very well, and he didn't disappoint today.
Thanks, Urban.
Okay, we go Gene Fournette and then Ashland Sullivan.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you, Gene.
Can you hear me? Okay. Hey, Urban. When you look at Trevor, and I don't know if you can make a full assessment on this at this point without the pads on. Any concerns on your part about a rookie quarterback like Trevor resisting the urge to think that he can fit balls in anywhere? Because have you noticed that he can sense the difference in how windows close a lot faster here, even though you're only in OTAs?
That is a great question because that's reality. That you look at the step, it's from high school to college, everything gets a little faster. From college to pro, everything gets much faster. And so that's, we're coaching them through that. We did have a couple bad practices where, the balls were kind of trying to pound them in there, and it is a much faster game because it's the best of the best on that side of the ball. So that's something we're coaching them through, but it is a concern.
Do you feel like he's got the because of his ability to grasp things quickly, that's something that will get better as time goes on? And even though that doesn't mean you won't make a mistake.
Yeah, but it's our job, Gene, also to get him in those situations as much as possible. And we have not been able to do that much. Just once again, you're not allowed to be in those competitive where the defense is actually breaking on the ball hard. They're laid off right now. So that will be something that will be instrumental in training camp when we start.
Thank you.
Last one here, Ashland Sullivan.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned how pleased you were with the free agency class, and Jihad Ward is a guy we always watch him in warm-ups, and he seems to be really meshing with the defensive line. What have you seen from him?
Well, Joe Cullen, that was a guy from the start. Joe wanted him, and I remember from his college days, and Joe, his comments were spot on about what kind of worker he is, what kind of teammate he is, and what kind of competitor he is, and so far he's been fantastic. So he's been a great addition.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks,
You're all
guys.
set.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, Trevor. So we will start with Mark Long, and then we'll go to D-Rock.
Hey, Trevor, just curious, how does the hamstring feel, and how frustrating is it now at this point still to be kind of pacing this thing, pacing it along, trying to get back to full go?
Yeah, it's feeling good. It's been about a week and just trying to work it back to full capacity, and yeah, it's a little frustrating just not being able to go full speed, but I'm feeling good and just trying to not have any more setbacks, so taking it slow. Got some good reps today, so start getting more and more each day this week and just kind of work back into it. But yeah, it's doing great, trying to work it back.
Okay, we'll go D-Rock and then Mia.
Hey, Trevor, can you just kind of give us an update in terms of where you feel in learning the playbook, learning the system, and your comfort level at this point?
Feel good. Obviously, I still have a lot to learn, and just the more you practice something, the better you get at it. So still got to get a lot of reps. With me, the receivers, the O-line, just all the timing and meshing with all that. We still got some work to do, but from a knowledge and just memorization and mental standpoint, I feel really good with the system. I think it's great. We got a lot of answers, and now it's just working out all the little details to be a really good offense, and we're working towards that.
Do you have expectations for yourself in terms of, performance-wise, or anything about learning the offense, anything at all that you maybe had set heading into this offseason and where you want to be by the time you get to camp or the regular season at all?
Yeah, I want to just master the offense. I want to have, complete control and know everything and be comfortable. I mean, you can't really play free and play really well if you don't know what you're doing. So that's the goal, is just to master the offense by the time training camp comes around, So in training camp, we really can focus everything forward on being the best team we can come August 14th and then going on into the regular season as well. So that's the plan, and it starts with the quarterback. Obviously, I have to be ready, and I'm going to do everything I can to ensure that is the case. So I'm excited to get started, and I think we've had a great past 3 weeks, and it's been really good work.
Thank you.
We'll go Mia and then Cassidy.
Hey, Trevor, as you're learning the playbook, you're trying to mesh with the rest of the guys. What has been the most challenging part for you that maybe you didn't expect coming into the NFL?
I would say it's been good. Everyone on the team's been great, but just being around a whole new team, new locker room, you don't really know many people at first. So just something as simple as just like learn everybody's names and feeling comfortable around that. And we have a great team. It's been awesome, been super easy, but that was something that I really didn't even think about. That was going to be kind of a challenge going in, and these guys have been awesome, welcoming me with open arms. But that's something. Then just the schedule is completely different from college. It's really like a work day, and then in your downtime, you got to figure out ways to get better and what works for you. And I'm still learning that and trying to figure out the best way to make the most out of each day. And I feel like we're in a really good spot right now, but it's been great.
Awesome. And I know, at least per social media, you've been getting out, seeing Jacksonville during the free time you do have. What has been some of your favorite restaurant coffee spots so far, since I know you're a big coffee guy?
Yeah, I haven't been to a ton of coffee places. Bold Bean is pretty good. I think everybody knows about Bold Bean. So that place is good. And then North Beach Fish Camp is a great restaurant. And we went to River and Post, which was awesome. I haven't been to a ton, but try to go to at least 1 or 2 spots every weekend, and it's been great.
Awesome. River and Post is a favorite of mine, so good choice. Thanks, Trevor.
We'll go Cassidy and then we'll go Hayes.
Hey, Trevor. Have you learned everyone's names yet?
Pretty much, I think so. Like we have some new guys here today, so I gotta add a few more. But that's the thing that's different too, is you got guys coming in, and one day you have someone new, so that's new to me too. But yeah, I know pretty much all the guys' names now. I'm pretty sure.
Get them name tags. What has the give and take been like with you and Gardner? Do you sort of do your own thing? Is it collaborative? What has that relationship been like?
It's been great. I think both of us are obviously trying to be the best player we can be and trying to do whatever we can to help this team. So from that standpoint, I think we've been great working together, been supportive, and if he sees something, he's communicating it to me and vice versa. So I think we've worked well together. It hasn't been an issue at all, and don't expect it to be. That's something that I pride myself on, is just being a good teammate and being able to work with people.
A couple of years ago, he was lighting everything up out in Washington. How much did you watch that part of his career or know about him when you came into this?
I definitely remember it. I'm trying to think. I guess that was, 3 or 4 years ago? Yeah, I definitely remember watching that. I don't remember what year that was exactly, but I remember hearing about him. And then
2018.
2018, yeah. So I guess I was a freshman that year. So I definitely remember watching him. He was fun to watch. So I don't remember a ton, but for sure.
Thank you.
All right, we have time for one more. So Hayes.
Hey, Trevor, what's it been like learning from Bevel and Schottenheimer, and how much input are you allowed to give them and working with them in the classroom?
It's been great. Obviously, 2 great offensive minds that have been able to work together and come up with a great scheme. And I think one of the best things about the offense is it gives the quarterback a lot of answers. So you got a lot of tools. You just got to know how to use them. And that's something for me, now that I pretty much know most of the system, it's figuring out how to put us in the best situation, because Coach Bev and Coach Shoddy give us answers. So just being able to use them, like I said. And that's something that takes a little bit of practice and reps, something I'm not really that used to from college. So I think we're making great progress there. And then they're great about listening to what the quarterback's thoughts are and what we like, what we don't like, and making adjustments from there.
Great, thank you.
For sure.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Trevor. You're all set.
Thanks,
Trevor. You're all set.
Y'all.
What's going on, Shaq?
What's good? No, I do not know all the names. I'm gonna answer that right now.
We'll start off with Gary.
Hey Shaq, how you doing?
Doing good. How you doing?
Shaq, I wonder how do you think this defense is going to best utilize your skills, and is the defense look like one that's going to be flexible enough to where that'll be the case for almost everybody from the front line to the backside, in taking what everybody does well and blending that together?
I feel like it's gonna help me for sure. You know, having a opportunity to change things up. So you're talking about a corner that's able to, you know, move around, travel a little bit more, add some blitzes, whatever the case may be. I feel like when the coaches told us they're going to find what works best for everybody and utilize that on the field so we all can accomplish the same goal, and that's winning, you know, and that's the main thing. So when the coaches first told me that, you know, it's cool to see them hold that end of the bargain. Understand that, you know, my speed, my length, you know, being able to move around, doesn't matter what it is, they're using that. From the front end all the way to the back end with the DBs, you know, everybody's using their strength, and their coaches is seeing that and utilizing that. So it's going to be something special to really see, and I'm excited for it. You know, I can only imagine when they really open the playbook up for us, you know, for everybody to start to learn, and, you know, it's going to be some interesting things, and I can't wait to see it.
Thank you.
I will go to Gene Fournette and then Mia.
Hey, Shaq, Urban was talking earlier about Trevor and how once training camp gets here, the defense is going to be closing in on balls a lot quicker. Could you just talk a little bit about the transition that Trevor's going to probably need to really go through in terms of adjusting to how fast DBs break on balls, thinking that you can fit it into a tight window? And maybe you can in college, but sometimes in the NFL, it's always not available.
I honestly wouldn't have him change much to what he already know. I feel like what's going to be the difference is the speed, maybe the breaking. Understand that, you know, it's going to be, especially with us, you know, we're going to be a defensive back room where we're going to switch things up. We're going to make things look different. So when it comes to Trevor, you know, elevating his game is staying poised, being a little more patient than you was in college. I wouldn't say it's too much to change. You know, you're still working on timing with the receivers that we have, but being more patient, seeing things through, going through all your checks. I feel like that's the part that Trevor is going to continue to be great at. So I wouldn't say change too much in this game besides, okay, you can be a little more patient. You know, you're patient in college. Let's add another half a second or whatever it takes to make sure you're reading everything, because you're going to see different looks. And the good thing is you're going to be going against one of the best defense in the league. And I'm saying that now because we're going to work him, you know, and then we want the same thing from him. You know, we talking about having one of the best quarterbacks in the league. We're going to get that same type of work. So we're going to push him. So don't get me wrong. I'm excited for training camp to go for the ball. You know, I can't wait for that. But I wouldn't have Trevor change too much besides staying who he is, staying poised, being more patient in the pocket, going through all his checks and just reading everything. Everything that looks good doesn't mean it's good. So it's little details. So, you know, and that's something you learn as you continue to mature, the things he continue to see, you know, the coaches, the players, the people around him that help him learn different things, different situations. He's going to pick up on it fast, very smart. So I'm not worried about that. You know, the main thing is just having him ready to compete, because, you know, the defense, when they let us loose, you know, it's on and popping. So I'm excited for him.
As a follow-up, what are you seeing? What can you tell from just watching him in certain plays about how he's able to maybe look off of things and maybe not give himself away with his eyes?
I feel like the main thing I've been seeing, he's very explosive. So when the ball is out, it's out. You know, and I keep telling him, you know, when you see him throwing, so even if I'm out on the sideline and I'm watching him throw to different receivers, there's just the rotation of the ball, the timing, the way he's putting it out away from everybody. It's just insane to see that so early in a quarterback. You know, you're talking about coming in the league, you know, with so much high hopes, and he's proving it. You know, that's why I'm so excited for him. But, you know, the things that I've been seeing, the improvement, like I said, was the patience. You know, I'm starting to see that more now. You know, if he's scrambling out the pocket, he's trying to make a play. He's letting things develop. He's letting receivers get open. You know, and that's what it takes. You know, it's a lot of great scrambling quarterbacks who can extend plays. You know, and you know some of the best in the league to do it, and you start to see your quarterback do it himself, be able to extend plays, letting the receivers get open and make plays. That's awesome. I love seeing that. You know, and like I said, it's going to make us better. So, you know, I'm starting to see things like that from here. And like I said, he's young. It's very early, and for him to pick it up on it now, I can only imagine what he accomplished, going, for the next day or two, going to training camp. The knowledge that he's going to gain. You're talking about preseason, the first game, it's so much that he's going to learn. There's so much that we're going to help with. So like I said, I'm truly excited. I know there's a lot of people out there excited for, to see Trevor, but I understand this team is very excited for him. We're rooting for him, and, we're behind him 110%.
Thank you.
I will go to Mia and then John Shipley.
Hey, Shaq, you kind of alluded to it, and Josh Allen mentioned it last week as well. Because you don't have the pads on, what do you know about this team? Do you feel like you can really assess at your position in particular, how guys actually look without everyone going full speed per se?
Well, on the defensive side, I can see it. When you go back to meet the rooms and the coach is telling you to slow down, that's a good sign. I'd rather the coaches tell us to slow down than speed up. So, I know we can't go for the ball. We got to stay up. But you can see plays where you can see it's timing where, okay, if I'm going for the ball, I see my safeties flying past the receiver. You can kind of see how that may play out in the game if that receiver went for the ball and was doing full contact. So I look at things. I tell people all the time, I say if I'm in diving range of making a play, I have no problem leaving my feet, so I'm going to make it. So I think about myself, I want to be so close to a receiver that if this man catch it, I know for a fact if I had to go for it, I make a play. Because sometimes, playing that position, you have to take a guy all the way to the ground just to make the play. And we're not allowed to do that, so the main thing I'm telling guys is if you can't go for the ball, make that window so tight that it's hard for the quarterback to even see it. And that's what we're working on. So like I said, you got coaches telling us to slow down more than having to speed up, which is great. So we building off that. So when the pads do come, just go.
And you just mentioned, you're telling the younger guys that. What has been the relationship with you and some of these younger guys, and who's really stepping up from what you've seen both on the field and in the room?
I'm seeing huge step-ups from everybody. We got a couple of guys who's dealing with, nicks and pains, little injuries. But if you see the way these guys work outside the field, trying to get back, you talk about, Clay Brooks and Luke, and you talking about C.J. Henderson, all these guys who's looking forward to being their first day of training camp. This is all, especially for Clay Brooks, this is all he talk about. Oh, I can't wait to get back to training camp. I can't wait. So they're working their butt off, so it's not about just the guys on the field because everybody making improvement. And I feel like as a leader, the only thing I want to do is everything that I was taught, the people that put their arms around me going into my rookie year, I love that feeling. So, that's the part that I'm trying to give to this team. Whatever I know, whatever I continue to learn, I'm going to continue to preach it. And don't get me wrong, I don't feel like I know it all. So if I can learn something from, even if it's a young guy, if you're doing something that's better than me and I need to learn it, I'm going to ask questions. And I want everybody in that room to feel comfortable enough. It doesn't matter if it's coming to me or if you're coming to Trey or Sydney. It doesn't matter. We're going to have, if we have the answers, we're going to give it to him. If we don't, we'll go to Walt. We'll talk to him for you. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, I love this group because everybody in this group wants to see everybody do good. It doesn't matter who's starting or who's second or who's third. There's no depth chart in our room. It's about who can make the most plays and whoever's out there, who can we depend on, who can we count on. If I go down, who can step up and make sure it's no rhythm, no beat messed up. So it's awesome. I love that room because everybody is willing to help each other. Everybody's willing to be great. There's no weak links. So I love that part about our room.
Awesome. Thanks, Shaq.
No doubt.
We have time for two more, John Shipley and John Reed. So John Shipley.
Hey, Shaq. The secondary, throughout OTAs was making a ton of big plays. What can you say about you guys being able to mesh together and communicate like that so early? And then just which teammates do you specifically have kind of caught your eye and jumped out to you so far?
The main one who jumped out to me has to be Trey. He's just different. I don't know. It's the technique. That's the person who I go to a lot about different things that I don't know if it's plays or, the press technique that I'm learning for the first time this year. That's a guy who's just always day in, day out. Doesn't matter what it is, Like I said, playing this game is days where you feel like, whew, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Not Trey. Trey is not that guy. He's going to find every single day, find a way to get better, and that's what motivates me. So it's never a day for me I feel like, man, I don't know how I feel today. When I see Trey, it's something that he brings to this room. It's like, you know what, I want to get better because I know he does too. So that's one of the main ones that's jumped out on tape for me since the beginning, since I first got here. But like I said, it's so many others, besides Trey. So, but man, I'm excited about this group. I'm glad I'm a part of this group, and man, it's some special things that's going to come. I wish I can put it into words, but man, some special things are gonna come out of this group, this DB group. You know, getting a chance to play with Rayshawn again, building that chemistry, getting the guys closer. You know, my main thing is I'm a guy that invite the guys to the house, or let's go do dinner. That's fine. Well, I want to know you personally, because that's who I'm going to battle with. You know, knowing someone who I truly know, I know their family, I know why you're doing this. I want to do whatever it takes to make sure you achieve those goals for you and your family. So I'll be ready to run through a brick wall for all these guys. So that's the bond we're trying to build. That's someone who I can trust and play with, for sure, those guys.
Shaq, I appreciate it.
No doubt.
Last one here, John Reed.
No problem at all. On that note, what you just said about I wanted to just ask you about the chemistry building and what has stood. I mean, you got one more practice before the off-season program is finished. What some of the things have stood out, and are you surprised that you guys look like you having fun out there? Even like before the practices, you're dancing and you look, you know, you get along already. And you guys done had like 11 practices together. What has it been about this group, and what's some of the things that you feel as not just your position group, but what do you think has stood out to you about this team and the bonding and the chemistry that's being built right now?
I feel like what's been different, it's no judgment. You know, there's so many people who's like, oh, well, I don't really like his game, or it's this and this and that. It's no judgment. It's either I can take something from you to learn, or if I don't know it, I want to learn from you. And like I said, it's a group that we kind of piggyback off each other. If Rayshawn make a play, I want to make a play. Or if it's something I know, it's something I don't know, I can go to Trey or I can go to Sydney. You know, when you got a chemistry like that, it's something different. And us being here for the last couple months of just training together, these last couple practices, I feel like what's been huge for us mainly is not just practicing this, what we do outside of this building. You know, we got a couple more days, but when everybody go their separate ways, is find ways to go and practice or go through certain walkthroughs or whatever it is with some of the guys who's going to go to battle with you. I feel like it's little steps. You know, main thing I always tell the young guys is everything we do in this league is about the details. It's little things of being early or running 2 yards past the sideline when you're jogging off. It's little things that's going to carry us somewhere that some people may not even believe in yet. So, you know, I'm trying to get them to understand that so it doesn't stop here. You know, we still building that chemistry. The reason why it's so close now, because we all accepted each other with open arms. It's no judgment. Everybody want to see everybody be great and do great. So when you have a room like that that's so accepting, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, that's my brother. Oh, yeah, you know, I'll do anything for him. Oh, yeah, you going to be in the pose? Oh, you need me to make this play? Okay, I got you. Or I see something happen. Stay back. Trust me. That's the type of relationship we got to build. And it starts not just in this facility, but outside of here. So I know, you know, coach is asking me where I'll be between Jacksonville and Atlanta training. Call me. I'll get you up here. You can stay with me. It doesn't matter. We'll put you in a room somewhere. If you want me to come down, I'll come down. It's a nice little drive. Ain't no problem. But that's the little details that's going to start now that's going to help us get to where we want to be at. So, sure.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right. Thanks, Shaq. You're all set.
I appreciate you guys.